Welcome back, people, to TME. Thanks for tuning in. So I just picked up a load of lumber, as you guys know. You just watched me strap it a little bit. I am headed out. Now this is a little town up in northeast North Carolina. I've actually been up here since yesterday. I picked another load of concrete slabs up from Jonesboro, Georgia, and I brought it all the way out to Plymouth, North Carolina, which is another small town in northeastern North Carolina. It's actually not that far away from like Virginia Beach and Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, so it's really not even that far away from the coast or anything like that. It's well east of I-95. So after I delivered that concrete, I came over here. This is Enfield, North Carolina. Well, I hope you just saw my load, what it looks like. I got a new trailer, guys. It's not really new though. I just swapped trailers, which doesn't happen very often. I might swap trailers maybe once a month. That's the way it's been so far. But I'm back in with another trailer that I was using earlier, much earlier, like maybe September this year, maybe the first part of October. I have not had this trailer since the video call chaining in North Carolina, my first time. Yeah, that was the last time I had this trailer. And the cool thing about this trailer is that it has boxes on it in the back where you can store dunnage and tarps and stuff. But the coolest part about it is it's got double-sided winches, which I'm very pleased to have right now. But it weighs a lot more too. I'm guessing that, you know, my net vehicle weight increases by about 12 to 1,500 pounds when I'm hauling this trailer. It's just a bulkier trailer than the one I had before. So speaking of weight, I've got to weigh out down here. You know what I can do if I had half a brain, and I probably should do, honestly, is write my total axles on here, like the weight of each axle, and then I can figure out how much, you know, I can do some math and figure it out. Okay, that one's 11,180 on the steer. Okay, steer and drives combination is 40. Ooh, it just keeps going up. Why does it keep going up? 4740. All right, gross weight. a little bit too close. Figure out the weight on my drive axles, all I gotta do is put the combination steer and drives in and subtract the steers from that. So 40,740 minus 11,180. Okay, I got 29,560 on my drive axles. Okay, to figure out how much weight's on those trailer axles, I'll do the same thing. The total weight, 73,100 minus 40,740. Whoops. I got 32,360 on my trailer axles. So, in other words, my weight's good. Now we're gonna have a fun time. Hadn't even told you guys where this load's going yet, I don't think. We're about to have a good time driving through that work zone on I-95 all the way down through North Carolina. We're going back to Savannah. And guys, I'm sorry, I know it seems repetitive, like I'm going to the same places all the time. And I know that probably gets old. It doesn't really bring you anything new or interesting into the content, and I apologize for that, but I haven't shown you guys that much of Savannah yet. So I mean, I've made a few videos driving through there, but I haven't actually shown you a lot of Savannah, and so I figured I might do that this time. And you know what's really weird, you guys, I've already explained it before, like I'll take a week off and then I'll film a few videos the next week, and I just alternate like that. Well, it seems like here lately, funnily enough, it seems like all the interesting loads that I get are on the weeks that I'm not filming for some reason. And then it seems like the weeks where I actually film, I just go to the same places. Like last week, I really should have filmed last week because I ended up picking up this really interesting load in Jacksonville, Florida, and I had to deliver it in downtown Atlanta. I should have filmed it. It's a construction site, but it just so happened to be the same address where I worked back in the day. It was like 2018. It was when I worked locally for Schneider for a little while, and I did dedicated runs for that paper company, Westrock. They had a warehouse in downtown Atlanta that they, you know, eventually after I quit the job and moved on to something better, they sold the property, and now it's a big construction site. The warehouse that used to be there was like, it was massive. It was several warehouses, but it covered a whole block. They tore all of it down, and now it's just a bunch, it's a few different construction sites, and I should have filmed it for you guys and shown it to you. Even the load itself was interesting. It was steel, you know. The construction site was pretty interesting. It was just crawling with all kinds of activity. It was the busiest construction site I've ever been to. After that, I ended up going all the way to freaking Arkansas before I ended my week last week. So yeah, I guess I should have filmed last week instead of trying to film this week. Now, despite having a good weight and everything else, I'm still very heavy. So my truck, in case you guys were wondering about the well-being of my truck, the mechanical status of it, well, leaking oil, and I'm pretty positive that it needs a new DPF, because I've got this hot exhaust light coming on consistently. It'll stay on for a little while and go back out. I'm having to regen the truck quite a bit. That's gonna cost a lot of money, but it needs to be done. Especially now that it's getting cold at night and I'm having to idle at night to stay warm. Yeah. But I think the fact that the one that I have now, the one that needs to be replaced, it's so shot that it's really causing the truck to lose a lot of power. Especially when I get real heavy. I think it affects the horsepower on the truck for sure. So with that and the fact that it's leaking oil pretty bad, there's not a lot of compression left in the engine. And at this moment in particular, I've got 1,078,201 miles on this thing. But anyway, we're right here at the interchange for 95. We're gonna head south, a long way south. US 301 again. We meet again. So I've got some options here. I've got a Pilot and a Flying J, both off the same exit. I'm gonna go to whichever one's this way, because it'll make it easier to get back on the interstate once I'm done. And I'm just hoping I don't have to pay for the shower. I don't really need any fuel right now. The problem is I've been getting fuel at all these off-the-wall places. I haven't been going to the chain truck stops to get fuel in a while, so I don't know that I have any free showers. Need to recharge my shower power. Truck stop road. No through trucks. It's called Truck Stop Road. What the hell? I guess that just means you gotta stop up here at the truck stops. You can't go any further down this road. Oh, hey, it's the Iowa 80 truck stop. That's pretty cool. I've actually been to the real Iowa 80. It's somewhere near Iowa City off of I-80, obviously, but yeah. And I actually made a video about it. It was on my old channel. Ooh, yeah, see, I can smell the burning oil coming from under my hood right now. I can smell it. I was telling you guys, look, I was telling you guys that we had 3 drivers, right? 3 trucks on the road. Well, turns out that the guy that started working here right after I got hired, he got hired, he quit. So now we only have 2 trucks on the road, which means that the truck that he was driving is just sitting in the yard. So I guess the one good thing about it is if my truck breaks down on me, I'll just jump in his truck, and his truck is nicer than this one. It's a Peterbilt. So I don't really understand why they got me driving this old thing, which I don't mind. I'm not complaining. I don't have a problem with this truck. I'm just saying that, yeah, there's another truck back in Jackson that I could be driving right now instead of this one. I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to just use this one until it completely dies or what, but yeah. So I'm gonna go in here, take a shower and all that good stuff, and then I gotta get my butt back on the road. Got a long way to go today. So do you guys ever get updates on your Android phone promising, oh, better experience with Android, this and that, and then so you download this stupid update, you sit there and wait on it to finish, and then it turns out before it's all said and done that, well, you find a lot of the apps on your phone just aren't working right. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Anyway, onward we go. But yeah, if you guys remember watching a particular video that I made, I think it was called Trucker Talk or something like that, I pointed out the Welcome Center for Georgia on I-95 just north of Savannah. And I was like, that place is brand new. I want to check it out. I still haven't checked it out. Well, I think that's where I'm going to stop and take my break, because I'm obviously not going to deliver today. I mean, it took a long time just to take a shower and grab some lunch. That took probably over an hour to do by itself. I'm still over 300 miles away and it's already 1:15, so I figured that's probably my best bet. I'm not gonna get down there until about 6 o'clock tonight, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have the same issue that I have every time I go to Savannah and try to take my break, and that's finding a parking spot at a truck stop. But at least this rest area, it's newer, it's huge, it's got a lot of parking spots. I don't think I'm gonna struggle, you know, as long as I can get there by 6, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I could be wrong though. But we'll find out once I get down there. Until then, I've got a plethora of work zonage to drive through. So let's do it. It begins. Okay, mile marker 81. There's a bit of a gap in between, but I would say between right here, mile marker 81, going down to I don't know, 60, somewhere in the 50 zone. It's just straight up work zone, and then it starts back up again somewhere in the 40s, and then it goes all the way down to, you know, like probably the lower 20s or the teen mile marker. But this is where I was talking about, they have the speed trap cameras set up, and if somebody broke down in one of these areas where both of the shoulders are closed, I mean, you'd be screwed. Everybody would be screwed. All right, we're at the exit 41. Here comes part 2. See, when we were going through that first work zone, had all these trucks pass me. because I wasn't speeding through. And then, of course, we come out the other side, all those trucks that were speeding through the work zone have speed control on their trucks, so I passed all of them. Well, now they're all about to catch up with me and pass me again. But I'll pass them again once we get down there to South Carolina, so that's the way it works. You see what happens when you put speed control on your corporate trucks? It causes your drivers to speed through work zones. That's the only satisfaction they ever get of passing another truck, is by speeding through a work zone. Join me on the sarcasm slide. It's fun. This one, it's about another, I don't know, 20, 25 miles. It's pretty long. I think it is the smaller of the two, though, if my memory serves me. But there's going to be a weigh station before we come out on the other side of this one, and that weigh station's usually open, so I'll be keeping my eyes peeled for that one. All right, so weigh station 1 mile. Let's see what happens. There's a truck on the shoulder right here. That is a terrible place to be right now. Right freaking there. That ain't good at all. You guys saw that, right? I have to pull in here. Ain't got no choice. You guys see the scale, right? It's three separate scales, right, for each axle segment. Which is pretty standard. I mean, that's pretty common. You got scales at the weigh stations, which are actually 3 separate scales. So they're not like the ones that I pulled up on earlier at the beginning of the video. When I left the shipper, I got on that one scale. I stopped 3 times to get the weight for each axle segment. And when I say segment, I just mean like, okay, you've only got 1 axle up here. You got 2 for your drive axles, okay? And you got 2 for your trailer axles. And it's pretty common to have tandem trailer axles. These are spread axles because it's a flatbed, which is common for a flatbed. But that's why you have 3 of those scales at the weigh stations, because they want to know each section of axles, how much they weigh. So I'm just breaking this down for you. I don't want to be too boring or draw it out too much, but I'm sure everybody knows, even some of the non-truck drivers, you probably know that the common weight limit for each set of axles, your drives, they can't be over 34,000 pounds. Your tandems on your trailer can't be over 34,000 pounds. And typically, you know, it varies for your steer axle. It just does. Depends on what state you're in and all that stuff. Well, you guys know, I've already told you that when you've got spread axles on a trailer, that allots you to have 6,000 more pounds on them because they're spread apart, right? So I can have up to 40,000 pounds on my trailer axles and still be okay, still be legal. Well, did you guys realize this? I'm asking the truck drivers that in Georgia, they've got more than 3 scales on that weigh pad at the weigh station. They've got 2 separate scales in the back for your trailer axles. So they actually break it down between each axle on your trailer. And I think they do the same thing for your drive axles. How do I know that? Because I got a freaking ticket. That's why I stopped hauling this trailer. Actually, I told you guys earlier that it's been, you know, since the end of September, the beginning of October, since I had this trailer. It's because they had it out of service for that long. They had it out of service for a long time. Because you know how there's airbags for each set of wheels back there, right? There's 2 airbags on the front axle and 2 airbags on the back axle. Well, my airbags on the front axle weren't holding any air. And I went through that weigh station loaded, had some shingles, and they weighed me and everything. And every other weigh station that I had gone through prior to that point was fine. Didn't come up overweight or anything else. And my weight was actually good. But because that front axle wasn't getting enough pressure on it because the airbags were deflated, it was causing most of the weight on the trailer to go on the rear axle. So I had like 9,000 pounds on the front axle, and I ended up with like 23,000 pounds on the rear axle. And they wrote me a ticket for it. And it was something that I couldn't have even caught. Like, even in a pre-trip inspection, it's hard to catch something like that because, I mean, yeah, you're looking at the airbags, and the airbags on the trailer look good. They look fine. They weren't dry rotted or anything else. But for some reason, there was some kind of actuator issue or something like that I just couldn't catch in a pre-trip inspection. So I ended up being overweight on the back axle of the trailer. So just so you know, I mean, that's something I've never heard anybody talk about that before. And I've listened to a lot of truck drivers, you know, watch their videos, listen to them talk and everything else. But I don't expect non-truck drivers to get where I'm coming from, or even non-flatbed drivers. If your trailer doesn't have spread axles on it, I don't expect you to understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, just so you know, when those axles are spread apart and you have an airbag issue on your suspension, it can actually cause the weight to be distributed unevenly, which will cause either set of those axles to be overweight. And I would guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, it's going to end up being the very back axle that's overweight. I hope that makes sense. I hope you're getting where I'm coming from. But yeah, they wrote me a ticket for it. It's the first time I've ever been overweight in my history of truck driving. And I mean, they wrote me a ticket. They really wrote the company a ticket. The company had to pay for it. It was only like $200. But still, it was one of those things. It sucked. And the DOT officer, he was like, I'm gonna give you a chance to figure this out. Because he was thinking that there was some kind of switch or something back there on the trailer that I could push that would reset the actuator in the suspension so that the air would reset and it would, you know, deflate and I guess reinflate the airbags. But this trailer doesn't have anything like that on it. There was just a problem with it. So when I couldn't figure it out, he was just like, well, I'm gonna have to write you a ticket. But the good thing is, he said it wouldn't go on the company CSA score or anything like that. They just wanted me to pay an overweight ticket. Wanted the company to do it. Okay, we finally reached the end of the work zone. This is exit 13. So yeah, like I was saying, that's about another 30 miles. Okay, so there's about 60 miles worth of work zone on 95 in North Carolina, and that's judging from the mile marker like 130, 131. There might be even more up above that before you get into Virginia. I'm not really sure. But that's a lot of work zone. 60 miles. But we're finally out of it. Feels good. I hope I don't have to come back up here again before Christmas. We're there, dude. We made it. Welcome back to Georgia. Getting here a little bit later than I wanted to, but that's a pretty big welcome center, you know. And it's just after 6, so let's see what it's looking like. It's pretty ginormous though, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to have a spot for me. I mean, you guys know the deal with Savannah. Okay, we're good. Damn, there was a spot right there. But that was weird. That was really weird. Okay, here we go. No reefers. Alright, cool. I'm right in front of the place. I mean, it's closed now. I was saying, like, I was hoping that I could have got here sooner, but I think it closes at 5 or 5:30. Bathrooms are open, obviously, but the actual welcome center itself is closed. But that's all right. I'm gonna get out and check my straps and see how far away I am from where I have to go tomorrow. $12 miles. 12 miles. I like it. Okay. So it looks like I just jump on this Highway 21 right here, and I can go straight in from that way through Garden City. Okay, cool. He hasn't given me actually, yeah, I do have my next load. Shoot, where am I going next? Freaking Tennessee. Yay. Morristown, Tennessee. Oh boy. Okay. Good grief, that's a long freaking way for that much money. That's crazy. Picking it up in Savannah. Hang on. I'm picking it up at the same place I'm delivering at. That's cool. Yeah, I knew I was gonna end up going up 26. Oh man, that's gonna put me, okay, I'm gonna have to go through that pass again where I almost flipped over a few weeks ago on 40. I'm gonna take 26 all the freaking way up through Columbia, through freaking Spartanburg, through Asheville. And Morristown is off of I-40. Like that part of I-40 where I-81 comes together or ends, you know, right before you get to Knoxville. And that's a Friday delivery, so wow. Okay. All right, good night. I'll be back in the morning.